Welcome back to the channel Coin Dealer, Coin Collectors and Rare Treasure Hunters. Today we're diving into the captivating mystery and jaw-dropping value behind one of the most talked about pennies in numismatic history, the 1981 1-cent USA coin that has stunned collectors and investors alike with a staggering estimated value of $87 million. And while that may sound unbelievable at first glance, you're about to discover how a tiny copper-colored coin with a face value of just 1 cent became the centerpiece of high-stakes bidding wars, private museum offers, and even international numismatic circles simply due to its fascinating array of errors, mint mark anomalies, historical context, and the wild possibilities that elevate its status far beyond its intended use as everyday pocket change. And as we unravel this story, you'll want to stay with us until the very end because every single detail contributes to the astronomical price tag that experts and enthusiasts have placed on this mysterious cent. And to begin understanding why this coin could fetch such a jaw-dropping amount, we have to step back into the economic, historical, and minting landscape of the early 1980s. When the United States Mint was in the process of transitioning the composition of the penny from primarily copper to a zinc core with a copper plating due to skyrocketing copper prices which made the production cost of each penny exceed its actual face value, and this shift wasn't instantaneous, it was filled with testing phases, misstrikes, transitional errors, and equipment malfunctions which created the perfect storm for rare coins to slip through undetected by quality control measures. And among these rare slips was a batch of 1981 pennies that somehow ended up being struck using leftover 95% copper planchets intended for earlier issues instead of the newer copper-coated zinc planchets that were supposed to be phased in by 1982. And what makes this even more intriguing is that during this transitional period, different mint facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco were testing these new materials and even experimenting with various dies and mint mark punches which led to inconsistencies in how the coins were produced, and this is where the rarest version of the 1981 penny enters the picture. Experts believe a minuscule number of these coins were mistakenly struck at the San Francisco Mint using the old copper planchets, but instead of being clearly marked with the THES mint mark, they were either missing a mint mark entirely, had a D or P incorrectly punched into the die, or even more shockingly, had a malformed or misplaced mint mark that escaped final inspection, and such errors are extraordinarily rare and considered by collectors to be minting miracles, especially when they happen during a transitional year like 1981 which sits at the cusp of a major material and manufacturing shift for the cent, and beyond the planchette and mint mark errors, some of these coins also display doubling on the obverse side, where Abraham Lincoln's features appear slightly replicated due to a die malfunction known as a double die error, and while most doubling errors are minor and hard to spot without magnification, the rarest specimens of the 1981 penny show dramatic doubling in areas like Lincoln's eye, the word liberty, and the date itself, making these varieties extremely desirable to seasoned collectors and auction houses alike. And it's not just visual anomalies that make these coins so valuable, because the number of surviving specimens is so incredibly low that even locating one has become the numismatic equivalent of discovering buried treasure, with rumors circulating about a private collector who reportedly paid upwards of $87 million for a specimen verified by top grading agencies to have multiple high-grade errors including a missing mint mark, copper composition, dramatic die doubling, and an off-center strike, which adds yet another layer of uniqueness to an already miraculous minting accident. And while this particular sale has not been publicly confirmed due to non-disclosure agreements typical in ultra-high-end collectible sales, the mere possibility of such a coin existing has fueled endless speculation, heated bidding, and international interest in finding other surviving examples of this enigmatic 1981 penny. And with fewer than a handful of authenticated error coins from this year surfacing in the past for decades, many numismatists believe there may only be one or two true Holy Grail specimens in existence, and this rarity combined with the historical importance of the 1981 transitional year makes for a compelling case as to why someone would be willing to pay tens of millions of dollars for a coin that many would overlook as common pocket change. And if we dig deeper into the specifics of minting practices at the time, we find even more layers to this mystery, like how the San Francisco Mint, typically responsible for proof coins, occasionally struck circulation coins as part of testing or logistical overflow, which means that a proof-quality 1981 cent with an error or anomaly might have been accidentally released into circulation, and given the hand-punching of mint marks during that era, there is an entire universe of possible errors involving rotated mint marks, repunched mint marks, and even overpunched marks where one letter was mistakenly stamped over another, and then there are the edge anomalies, where coins have been found with partial collars, broad strikes, and other planchet errors that indicate a malfunction during the striking process, and when such rare errors combine with transitional metal composition and low survivability, the result is a coin whose value becomes virtually incalculable. And part of the frenzy around the 1981 penny also stems from the fact that so many collectors overlooked this year for decades, assuming it was a normal mintage without major variations, until a handful of advanced numismatists began submitting unusual finds to grading agencies like PCGS and NGC, where experts quickly realized they were dealing with something extraordinary, and once the first high-grade copper 1981 error cent received a certified grade of MS67 red with full error notation, interest exploded and private offers began flooding in from elite collectors in Asia, Europe, and the Middle East, each hoping to secure a piece of what is now widely regarded as one of the most sensational U.S. coin discoveries of the 21st century, and speculation continues to grow over how many of these coins might still be out there in old coin jars, forgotten collections, or bankrolls that haven't been searched in decades, and with more attention than ever being paid to small denomination coins, especially in transitional years. 1981 has now joined the ranks of legendary error coins like the 1943 bronze cent and the 1955 double die, and if you're wondering what to look for in your own collection, focus on pennies from 1981 that seem heavier than expected, indicating copper content, as well as those with unclear or missing mint marks, dramatic doubling in the lettering or date, and especially those that seem to be struck off-center or with unusual edge patterns, because even if your coin doesn't command $87 million on the market, many of these rarities can still fetch thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars depending on their condition and error combination. And what makes the world of coin collecting so thrilling is exactly this: how something so small and seemingly mundane can turn out to be an extraordinary piece of history with the potential to change someone's life. And whether you're a lifelong collector or just someone curious about the stories behind our everyday currency, the tale of the 1981 1-cent coin reminds us that the world is full of hidden treasures waiting to be discovered, so don't underestimate that little copper coin in your change jar. It just might be the rare million-dollar mistake you've been searching for all along. We uncover the astonishing tale behind a humble-looking 2017 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny from the United States that has shocked numismatics experts, collectors, and everyday people alike by allegedly reaching a staggering valuation of up to $54 million. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny, a 1-cent coin minted in 2017. Could be worth more than some of the most expensive sports cars or even luxury homes, and we're about to explore all the intriguing details, the potential mint errors, die anomalies, and the numismatic oddities that elevate this coin far beyond its face value and into the realm of multi-million-dollar collectibles. So stick around and buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride through history, minting mistakes, and the speculative yet thrilling world of coin collecting. Now, for anyone not familiar, the 2017 D penny refers to the Lincoln penny minted in the Denver Mint in 2017, part of the Shield cent series that began in 2010, replacing the reverse design of the Lincoln Memorial. And while billions of these coins were produced, making them extremely common in circulation, every once in a while, a coin escapes the minting process, carrying with it rare and shocking anomalies that drastically increase its value among collectors, and this 2017 D penny is believed to have one such error, or perhaps a combination of rare flaws that have led some experts and auction records to project its value astronomically. Now let's break down what could possibly make a mass-produced 1-cent coin leap in value to a figure as mind-blowing as $54 million, beginning with the first and most obvious explanation: mint errors. In coin collecting, mint errors are mistakes that occur during the manufacturing process of a coin, and these mistakes come in many forms, such as double dies, off-center strikes, die caps, broad strikes, wrong planchet errors, clipped planchets, die cracks, and more, and these imperfections occur rarely, making them valuable to collectors depending on their severity, visibility, and uniqueness. In the case of the 2017 D penny, various coin experts speculate that it might have been struck with multiple striking anomalies, including but not limited to a dramatic die clash, off-metal planchet usage, or a double denomination minting in which a coin is accidentally struck on a previously minted coin of another denomination, which makes the end product bizarre and highly prized. Imagine a penny struck on a dime or nickel planchet. Such crossover errors are incredibly rare, and their prices can soar into the tens of thousands or more depending on condition and uniqueness. Additionally, it suggested that the 2017 D penny in question might also have an extreme die rotation, where the coin's obverse and reverse are rotated far more than normal alignment parameters allow, or it could feature a double die, where the die used to strike the coin has an imperfect etching that results in doubling of features like the date, lettering, or Lincoln's image. Another possibility comes from repunched mint marks or RPMs, where there's D's mint mark indicating the Denver Mint appears to be stamped more than once in a misaligned way, something which has always interested collectors, though many of these features need a microscope or magnifying glass to spot. Their rarity and historical oddity skyrocket their value. Now imagine a coin that has more than one of these flaws. An off-center strike, struck on the wrong planchet, with doubling, a rotated die, and a mispunched mint mark. If such a coin exists, it becomes an ultimate anomaly and can command previously unimaginable prices at auctions or in private sales, and that's exactly where the 2017 D penny gets interesting, because there are verified reports of extremely rare specimens from that year with multiple anomalies. Though the exact one tied to the alleged $54 million valuation may be shrouded in collector circles and may have exchanged hands in private numismatic channels, but what's even more fascinating is the story that some believe ties this coin to experimental minting processes or trial strikes. In very rare cases, the US Mint tests dies and planches using actual coins that are never meant for circulation, known as test strikes or pattern coins, and if a 2017 D penny was part of such an experimental batch and mistakenly released to the public, its rarity would surpass that of almost any regular circulation coin in modern history. Furthermore, speculation runs deep in the numismatic community that some examples of the 2017 D penny show ghosting or outline images of different denominations layered faintly over Lincoln's portrait, implying a double denomination strike, where for example a nickel design was struck faintly underneath the penny's final design. This type of error is so scarce that it's often only seen once every few decades. And when confirmed, its uniqueness can push its value to stratospheric levels. Now, add the possibility of historical context. Perhaps this coin was among the final batch produced on a discontinued press, or struck during a machinery malfunction that created unrepeatable results, or even minted by accident during a transition of die sets. These all compound the rarity factor, and in the coin world, rarity is the king. Another theory that gives weight to the 2017 D penny's valuation is its possible connection to insider or intentional mint errors, which, though controversial, have occurred before in US mint history, where mint workers have smuggled or accidentally released coins struck on rare metals or with intentional flaws, such as the famous 1943 bronze Lincoln cents or the 1974 aluminum cent prototypes. And if the 2017 D penny falls into that clandestine category, it would explain why some collectors have fought fiercely over its acquisition and why its price could balloon under specific circumstances, while no official confirmation from the US Mint has verified a $54 million penny. The dynamics of private sales, collector competition, and the mythic allure of owning a unique piece of minting history all fuel the idea that such value could realistically be placed on a coin of such extraordinary characteristics. And we must also consider how the condition of the coin, graded perhaps a perfect MS-70 by agencies like PCGS or NGC, further amplifies its appeal. Because when a rare error coin is also in pristine uncirculated condition, it effectively becomes a once-in-a-lifetime collectible that no investor or high-end collector wants to pass up. And while we can't ignore the possibility that the $54 million valuation may stem from media hype or a sensational private estimate, the underlying truth remains that certain 2017 D pennies with rare errors are fetching thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars in the open market, with some confirmed auction prices hitting record levels for a 1-cent piece minted in the 21st century, and those figures alone suggest that the possibility of a 7- or 8-figure penny isn't entirely far-fetched when you factor in desirability, the hunt for the unique, and the fiercely competitive nature of coin auctions. Add to that the fact that new discoveries continue to surface, ordinary people finding unusual coins in pocket change, which when verified, turn out to be worth thousands, and the 2017 D penny becomes more than a mystery. It becomes a symbol of the hidden value that could be lurking in your own loose change. And as we come to the end of this deep dive into the stunning tale of the 2017 D penny possibly worth $54 million, remember that coin collecting is not just a hobby, it's a blend of art, history, and high-stakes treasure hunting. And while it's easy to get caught up in the glamour of rare finds, Always remember to verify coins through reputable grading services and consult expert numismatists before making major buying or selling decisions, but who knows, maybe you've already spent or received a 2017 D penny with a strange glint or an off-centered strike or something odd about the lettering that you didn't notice, and maybe, just maybe, you've held a fortune in your palm without realizing it, so be sure to check your change, stay curious, and never underestimate the secrets a simple coin might hold. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video where we uncover more incredible stories from the world of numismatics. Today we're diving into one of the most astonishing stories in the world of coin collecting, a story that sounds too incredible to be true but is backed by facts and numismatic intrigue, the tale of the 1996 A.D. Lincoln 1-cent penny from the United States Mint, a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors and casual hobbyists alike due to its mind-boggling estimated worth of up to $95 million, far exceeding its humble face value of just 1 cent, and what makes this particular penny so insanely valuable isn't just the copper-plated zinc composition or its historical context, but rather a combination of highly specific and extremely rare minting errors, die anomalies, and one particular misplaced or misstruck mint mark that collectively elevate this coin from everyday change to a numismatic legend. And as we unravel this mystery, you'll understand how a coin you might overlook in your pocket could potentially be the golden goose of modern coinage, so buckle up as we explore. What sets the 1996 D penny apart from millions of others that rolled out of the Denver Mint that year, starting with the basics of coin production at the United States Mint, which is a carefully calibrated process involving massive hydraulic presses, engraved dies, and tight quality controls, yet even with such industrial precision errors do happen, and when they do, especially in low frequencies, they create what collectors call error coins, which can range from simple off-center strikes or double dies to more dramatic anomalies like wrong planches or even missing elements, and in the case of the 1996 A.D. penny, reports and analysis suggest a blend of these factors occurred in an incredibly rare and valuable sequence, including a double die obverse where the design features on the front of the coin, especially Lincoln's profile, the date, and the words "In God We Trust," appear double due to a misalignment in the die hubbing process, which is a rare and sought-after feature, especially when it's visible without magnification. And if that wasn't enough, further investigations by professional graders and numismatic researchers revealed that some specimens exhibited a bizarre anomaly with the D mint mark, believed to be either repunched or even mislocated altogether, creating a strong theory that the mint mark was manually applied incorrectly during a transitional period when the mint was shifting processes for how mint marks were added, and in some cases, evidence suggests that a Philadelphia die might have mistakenly been paired with a Denver mint mark punch, which is virtually unheard of and would immediately increase the rarity and historical significance of the coin. And while this alone is fascinating, some authenticated 1996 D pennies also show evidence of being struck on foreign planches, blanks intended for coins from another country or denomination, resulting in weight discrepancies, wrong metallic composition, and slightly off dimensions, which would be impossible under normal quality control. And when you combine all these elements, double die obverse, repunched or misplaced mint mark, and foreign planchet, you're left with a Frankenstein's monster of a penny that is not only 1 in a billion in terms of error combinations but also legally and historically significant. And this kind of coin instantly draws the attention of elite collectors and major auction houses who are willing to pay astronomical sums to acquire what they see as a once-in-a-lifetime investment. And in fact, several reports and collector forums suggest that a verified specimen with all these combined errors fetched upwards of $95 million at a private auction, though the identity of the buyer remains confidential, and skeptics might question how a penny can be worth so much. But the reality is that in the world of rare collectibles, provenance, rarity, and story are everything. And when a coin checks all those boxes and then some, it becomes a legend, a holy grail. And while not every 1996 D penny is going to be worth more than face value, the truth is that dozens of misprints and minor variations can still be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition, grading, and authentication. So it pays, literally, to check your spare change, look under couch cushions, and even go through old coin rolls from the bank. Because you never know if that little copper-colored coin could be the elusive multi-million-dollar mistake that collectors and experts around the world are hunting for. And it's important to mention that the grading process is vital in determining the actual value of any coin, as third-party grading companies like PCGS and NGC provide official certification and analysis of error types, strike quality, and overall coin preservation, and coins in mint state, especially MS67 or higher, dramatically increase in value, with red designations for copper coins indicating superior color and preservation often, leading to premium valuations. And if a 1996 D penny with the aforementioned errors is also preserved in red MS67 condition or better, it becomes a unicorn in the coin world, explaining how such staggering prices can be justified. And experts also theorize that this particular combination of errors was likely due to a very short production run where multiple malfunctions occurred either due to human oversight, outdated equipment, or rushed minting schedules. And since the US Mint does not intentionally release error coins, the few that make it past inspection and into circulation are effectively accidental treasures, and even rarer are coins like this that make it into pristine condition without being damaged by handling, and collectors love a good story. So when a coin not only tells the tale of industrial oversight but also ties into the legacy of Abraham Lincoln and the centennial history of the Lincoln cent first minted in 1909, it adds another layer of desirability, especially when such errors can be linked to specific periods in mint operation where procedural changes were happening, as was the case in the mid-1990s, and all of this culminates in a perfect storm of factors that justify a valuation of $95 million or more for one tiny piece of copper-plated zinc that weighs just 2.5 grams, and it's not just about the errors themselves but the timing, rarity, condition, and verification that together create a unicorn scenario where such astronomical prices can become real. And if you ever do come across a 1996 D penny with any suspicious or unusual characteristics, doubling, strange mint mark placement, off-metal coloration, or weight differences, you should immediately consider having it evaluated by a professional, because who knows, that single cent could be the ticket to unimaginable wealth. And it serves as an enduring reminder that hidden value can sometimes be found in the most ordinary of places, and whether you're a seasoned collector or someone who just stumbled into this fascinating world of numismatics, the story of the $95 million 1996 D penny is a testament to how history, rarity, and curiosity can converge into something truly extraordinary. So the next time you see a penny on the ground, think twice before walking past it, because it might just be the rarest and most valuable mistake ever made by the US Mint. And that's why the world of coin collecting remains as exciting and full of surprises as ever.